Do you feel like you're making mistakes in your marketing? In this episode, I'm going to share with you the 5 biggest marketing mistakes and how you can avoid them, even if you've made the same marketing mistakes in the past. Also, on this week's episode of Pick My Brain, we're talking about what to share on social media if your family wants nothing to do with it. And I share 3 of my favorite healthy salads. Stay tuned for today's Make It Happen. Today's Pick My Brain comes from a client and dear friend, Christy Diaz, Dr. Christy Diaz, in fact. She asked the question, what if I'm willing to be on social media, but my family doesn't want anything to do with it? So this comes from a question of, hey, you need to put your life online and you've got to share a little bit more about yourself and not just your business. And hey, if you truly want to have influence or followers on social media, then you have to share all of you. And I actually don't think that's the case. I also have a family that has requested not to be shown on social media. The disadvantage of that is that I've had many people question my love for my children. They know I like Dr. Pepper and ice cream, but I don't post about my kids very much. And so they wonder if I'm one of those people who doesn't really like my kids. Could not be farther from the truth. I love them. I just don't post about them online to respect their wishes and the things that we've set up in our family. And so you can do what you need to do. You can still share pieces of you and your personality aside from your family. And you can still talk about being a mom, having kids, things that you did for your family vacation, the places and spaces that you want to go and be. So there are still ways you can integrate that into your social media if you wish, even if you're not posting pictures of them, because I do that all the time. If you're the kind of people who like to share everything, I'm not going to hold you back from that. I love the Ann Handley principle that social media is all about being personable and not personal. So how can you share other pieces about you that will help people to want to connect with you, especially if you are the brand. If you're the brand because you're the entrepreneur or you're the business owner or you're the expert speaker, author, trainer, you'll want to share other pieces of you and not just your expertise. People want to connect with you as a human. They know that you have other pieces. It's interesting because sometimes I think, I don't need to share that I just ate this ice cream. But even last month, I shared a post about eating ice cream while I was traveling. And I have had more people talk to me about that post than anything that I posted on social media. And I was at a big social media conference. And so it's just a reminder that people want to connect with humans and not businesses in the same way. And you can still have a culture in your business, but you also can still share pieces of who you are and what you do, even if you're not sharing pieces of your family. But let them get to know you. At the end of the day, people have lots of choices. I know that there's a lot of marketing strategists out there and happiness coaches and speakers, but at the end of the day, they're picking me. So what makes me different? How can I connect with them individually and one-on-one? And when you start to answer this question, you'll have plenty of content to share on social media above and beyond what others wouldn't like you to share. Wishing you all the best. Thanks for sending in your questions. If you have a question, you can send it to me to answer on a future Pick My Brain segment. Send it to Michelle@speakmichelle.com and put Pick My Brain in the subject line. You can also send me messages on social media. Lots of you are sending questions via Instagram, so you can find me at Speak Michelle and send me a direct message. Until then, I'll see you on our next episode. I am thrilled because we have a sponsor here with us for Make It Happen. They're going to be sponsoring our content all month long. And we met by accident, and now I'm so grateful. This is Sherrick Peck, and he is a physical therapist by trade, but also an inventor, which we'll talk more about today. And he is someone who has personally healed from major traumatic injuries and found a solution. So I would love for you to share as we get started. Tell us a little bit about this product that bound us together and why it is a passion for you.
Absolutely. I'm a physical therapist by profession. I also have a master's degree in counseling. But if you go back in my history, I suffered a stroke as a teenager. Oh, wow. And broke my neck, and I had to learn to walk again and learn to function. And it's been my lifelong passion to help people get back to functioning so that they can help a lot of other people. Well, fast forward a lot of years, we invented a tool that we created right here in Utah. It's called the Tuner Pro device. And in fact, 2 years ago, we were the coolest thing made in Utah. But our device is a vagus nerve stimulator. It helps the body heal from almost anything.
Okay, so this is where we met. My daughter, at the beginning of the school year, she is going into 6th grade. was having massive debilitating headaches. And she missed like 5 or 6 days of school because she just like, and I could tell it was legitimate. I could also tell that she was probably dealing with some emotional things. And I could also tell that it was really knocking her down, and her body was responding to some, probably maybe some anxiety of transition and other things. And so we tried to work at it from a number of different places. We tried all kinds of things and nothing was working. And my friend says, you really need to try the tuner. And so she drove it 20 minutes to me, and I was so grateful. And of all the things we tried, my daughter said, this is the one that helped me the most. And so that's when I reached out to you and was like, holy cow, I need to know more about this. Please tell me. And so thank you so much for being part of that story. And we have it now. And from time to time, she's like, oh, Mom, I need that thing that helps my headaches. Mm-hmm. And so we're so grateful that we have this tool in our home. So I would love for you to share, like, if you could share, what are 3 things or 3 reasons why somebody would want to have this tool in their home?
Well, our tool is used by chiropractors and doctors all over the world for chronic pain reasons, but they also use it for brain rehabilitation. And of course, it's a wonder with migraine headaches, jaw pain, all kinds of things like that. But probably the easiest thing is you can do it in your own home, as you've noticed with your daughter. It provides a wonderful tool that a parent can use or a child can use that helps their brain get doing better.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and for coming and for being part of the show. I would love for people to, where would you like them to go first? If they're interested in finding something that will help them with whatever their ailments or challenges are, where should they go first?
Well, if they want to see it in action, go to our YouTube channel.
Okay.
But if they want to learn quite a bit, go to our Resimax.com website. And we've got a lot of information there. We've got over 120 videos to help them see how they might use it for just about any condition.
I love that. And we should have started with this, but we're actually going to give one away. So if you would like to get one, we are going to put in the show notes the link for the YouTube channel so you can go look at those videos. They were very helpful for me as well. We'll also put the link to Resimax so that you can go and check them out for yourself. But if you'd like an opportunity to win one, we are giving it away through Instagram. So if you go to Instagram at Speak Michelle, there is a post that says Resimax giveaway. If you go find it, there are 3 things that you can do to enter to win. And at the end of the month, we will draw a winner and we'll ship it straight to your home so that you can enjoy the benefits of this awesome tool. Thank you for being part of Make It Happen. I'm excited to share with you today something that kind of was inspired from a Pick My Brain question that I turned into a full episode. But I just had a client say to me, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make in marketing? And I love this conversation. So today I'm going to share with you a few of the biggest mistakes people make in marketing. And hopefully you'll be able to figure out how you can avoid these so that you can have greater marketing success. This year, and I've talked about this before, there are so many changes happening in the marketing landscape. You cannot afford to skate through. There are also so many things changing in the economic landscape that we're going to watch businesses thrive or bump along based off of how they are showing up in the market. So now is the time to look at some of these mistakes, see if you're making them, and figure out how to avoid them. But before we dive into that, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm feeling in the story mood lately, a little Mr. Rogers neighborhood as we dive in. But when I was in junior high school, I did a lot of plays. And my 9th grade year, I was Kate in Taming of the Shrew. And you can save all of your typecast comments for later, okay? But there was this one scene, which they call the taming scene, where my husband, Petruchio, is trying to tame me and get me to be the person that I'm supposed to be, Kate, of course. And it was such an intense scene that it was practically choreographed. You had to put steps in the right places. He would try to reach out and grab me. I would try to miss them. But if we were off step, we would trip each other or hurt each other. So we really had a very dedicated step pattern in addition to the lines that we were saying. And so one day, while we were performing live in front of a full theater audience, he went to go grab me and I'm supposed to pull away. But in his attempts to grab me, to keep me, he grabbed my skirt and I kept going and I fell and was completely pantsed or skirted. And everyone could see my medieval pantaloons. Now, I was very grateful in that moment to be wearing the medieval pantaloons, for the record, and it was to a certain extent, it kind of went with what we were doing. I got to be even more mad. I was shoving my hip bolsters and my pantaloons back in as I was getting my skirt up to run around the rest of the stage. And afterwards, I remember being so caught up in the moment that I wasn't even mad. I wasn't embarrassed. Cameron, who was my counterpart, came up to me after. He was one of my dearest friends, who was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry." And I was like, it's fine. And it was not a big deal. And we were able to move on. And it's funny because throughout my adult life, the people who know me from junior high and high school bring up this experience. They will have this conversation with me and I'll say, "Oh, Michelle, I still can't believe I was there that day that Cameron took your skirt off. And I'm so surprised that you weren't embarrassed." And what's interesting is they're sharing with me their own embarrassment of what they would have felt like. And for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. And maybe it should have been. But in that moment, you just had to kind of go on with the show. But I think about this a lot because I think this is our biggest fear. I think our biggest fear with marketing is that we're going to make a mistake and that somebody is going to bring it up and talk to us about it years and years from now. If nothing else, we're going to remember and we're going to wish we weren't doing it and we hadn't done it. And so I see my first biggest mistake that I see entrepreneurs make in marketing is holding back. Not putting things out there, not trying new things, not having new projects and new things in place, and not being willing to try something new because they're worried that they might make a mistake. And here, guess what? You will. I have made hundreds of marketing mistakes for myself and for my clients. There is no mistake-free way to run a marketing plan. But the good news is that every time you do hit a wall or make a mistake, you get to learn from it and you can figure out how to not make the same mistake again. So my first thing for you is put it all on the floor. Be willing to go all out, figure out the things that you want to do, and don't hold back just because you're worried you might make a mistake sometime or that somebody is going to remember it 10 years from now. Even if they do, it's so much better to try and figure out a new way to do something than to wish that you had always tried it. I love this phrase, and I say it to my clients all the time, that regret feels worse than failure. And we often feel like failure is the worst. But the reality is there are so many more things that I haven't done that I wish I had done. And those are the things that haunt me. Those are the things that keep me up at night. Those are the opportunities where I figured out that I missed something and I wished I would have tried because it could have been awesome, but I was too scared to give it all a go. And so the first biggest mistake that I see people make is the failure to try and do something new. Even if something happens or you make the mistake, I just want to give you this little mini pep talk that today is the day for new things. And it's also awesome because we've had a lot of opportunities to clean the slate over the last couple of years. The market is different. And now more than ever, it is easier for you to try new things, and you should be. Social media is different. Email marketing is different. The ways that we're interacting with traditional media like television and radio is different. So try new things and give yourself the permission to make that a regular part of your marketing. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and erase all the things that you've done and start from scratch and do only new things. I obviously want you to continue doing the things that are currently working for you, but each quarter maybe work in something new so that you are trying, you're developing, and you're figuring out different pieces to your marketing strategy that may actually be foundational principles for you moving forward. One of my favorite success principles is that success is not a destination, it's a practice. And this matches with marketing as well. Marketing is a practice. It's never a guarantee. And I've had clients be frustrated that it feels like the stock market or it feels like risks. And you could pay for something and then it might not work. And it's true. But as you continue to follow the principles of marketing, you'll make fewer mistakes because you're getting the right messages to the right masses through the right mediums. Now, if you watch this show before, you know I'm a bit of a broken record on that subject. My definition for marketing is getting the right messages to the right masses through the right mediums so you can make money. It's a trifecta. You need the messages, the mediums, and the masses in order for your marketing to work. And as you think about your current marketing tactics, if you're noticing that things aren't working, identify and look at each of those things individually to see if there's something wrong or amiss. Because biggest mistake number 2 that I see in all of this, including in my definition, is the failure to reach a target market. And it's marketing to everyone. And I have clients still to this day who I feel like I am saying this over and over and over again. Who's your target market? Who are you reaching out to? And And the adage goes that if you're trying to reach everyone, you'll reach no one. And that is absolutely 100% true. If you're trying to reach everyone, you'll reach no one. So you have to figure out how you're going to niche down your market in such a way that you are speaking the right messages to the right people. Your messaging will improve as your target market gets more narrow. The things that you say will be easier to say because you know you're saying them to the right people. I need you to be thinking about your current target market, the people that you're currently trying to reach, and ask yourself, if you were to get even a little bit more niched, what would that mean for your business? How would it change the way that you message who you are and what you do? Who would you reach out to? Because the ultimate goal is for your target market to say, they get me. They understand me. They know what's happening in my business. I want to work with them. They know what's happening in my life. I want to buy their product. And so if you're not getting down into the specifics of your target market and you're trying to reach everyone, that is another ginormous marketing mistake that you have to watch out for. Now, marketing mistake number 3, and some people don't like it when I talk about this, okay? They want me to talk about other things. They want it to be different. But marketing mistake number 3 is not investing in your marketing plan. And the interesting thing about this is that 20 years ago, no one would have ever started a business without having a budget for marketing. But because of social media and other potentially free options to market your business, people are just thinking, I'm just gonna bootstrap. Now, I've bootstrapped every single business that I have started over the last 20 years, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I haven't invested or created a marketing budget. Your marketing budget should be 4 to 10% of your annual sales, or 4 to 10% of what you want your annual sales to be this year, which means that if you're going for an increase, you probably need to increase that marketing budget. And as you think about how to spend your budget, I want you to be more strategic. And you don't just answer, and this is one of the things that falls into the budget category that makes it one of the biggest mistakes, is that some people don't have a budget to begin with. And then some people do have a budget, but then they're spending it in the wrong places. I have clients who will call me and say, hey, Michelle, I just found out that I can do this 3-part marketing thing with this direct mail company, and they're going to give me such an awesome deal. I can't turn it down. That wasn't even in their plan for the year. It's not the best way to reach their target market. They just got excited about the deal. And so that can be tricky. So if you do have dollars to spend, don't spend them just because you get a deal. You spend your money so that when you're clear that you're getting the right messages to the right masses through the right mediums. Now, if someone calls you and you run through the test and you're like, this is the right medium because I am reaching the right market and I can share the right message in this area, then awesome, great for the deal. But don't just go where it feels like the money is flowing. You have to go where your people are and where you can reach them with the messages you can share. So mistake number 3 is all about budget. Now, there's something else that I want to say here before I go on. Because for some of you, this is where you feel like you're taking the biggest risks. Or maybe some of you even have a little bit of PTSD on marketing budgets because you invested dollars and they did not work and they were a lost cause. And maybe even as a result, your business was less profitable that year. And that can sting and that can hurt and that can feel like you're in a traumatic situation all over again. And maybe even your team members are bringing it up again. Oh no, we can't try something new because remember in 2015, when we put down $6,000 on that marketing thing and it didn't work, oh, we can't try that. We can't do that. Again, I hope you start to see that message, that mistake is coming back to haunt you, but it's not motivating you to do the things that you need to do. In fact, it's holding you back from the success that you want. Marketing does take money. Now, I'm not saying to spend $1 million if you don't have it, but I'm saying figure out your 4 to 10% and then be very strategic about how and where you spend that money so that you're getting new eyes on your business and so that you're encouraging repeat customers to be part of what you're doing. Don't let past mistakes determine your future budget. Continue to make your budget based off of your sales and continue to make the best marketing decisions that you have with the information that you have. And yeah, you might make some more mistakes along the way, but as you start and try, you will be more successful. And I have some people who say, I'm just going to do free things this year. And the challenge with free things is you don't have the same kind of control. You could spend 20 hours on Facebook and still not reach your target market effectively because you don't have the budget dollars to find the right individuals. Now, some people, I'm sure you've heard a story of people who've made it big on TikTok, just creating free videos, or someone who's got a Pinterest strategy that doesn't cost them a dime. And you could spend some time trying to figure out what that is for you. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you've spent a lot of time on social media that hasn't yielded the results that you wanted. And you've spent a lot of time investing in it in there as well. And you've probably heard me say that time is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability in your business. And if you're investing your time like you're investing your dollars, where you could be spending your time in revenue generating activities, that's just as much of a budgetary expense and a cost to the business as if you were to actually spend 10 grand on something. Now, wherever you are, whether you're dealing with $10,000 or $10 million in your budget, figuring out the new ways to be strategic will change the game for you and how you approach your marketing this year and beyond. So start to think about whether or not you need to change your seasons. Look at the things that are working. Maybe they need a few more dollars than you've spent in the past. Look at the ways that you want to reach the market. Maybe you want to take a pulse approach where you're high one month, low another month, high the third month, low the fourth month. Maybe you want to be steady and put the same amount of dollars every single month. Or maybe you this year want to accelerate. Maybe it's new for you to be investing dollars in your business. And so maybe you'll start with a smaller percentage next month, and maybe you'll increase it by 10% the month after that, or 10% by the month after that, and you accelerate. And there are a few different ways you can build out your budget so that you're not just spending it all in one month. But as you think about the things that are right for you and you approach this with a healthy frame of mind, you'll be able to make better decisions with your past experiences, and as long as you're keeping the marketing trifecta in mind. Again, what are the right messages to the right masses through the right mediums so that you can make money, and that will help you make better decisions. Now, I want you to remember that while you're making sure that you're not marketing to everyone and you're creating your target market and making sure that you're spending dollars in the right place, mistake number 4 is what I call reverse marketing, which is choosing the outlet before creating the message. So all the time people will say to me, hey, Michelle, I want to be on Facebook, or hey, Michelle, I want to be featured on this TV show, or hey, Michelle, I'm going to put an ad in this publication. Most people think of marketing as the mediums that they use. The reality is marketing is really the messages that you're sharing that make people interested in what you have to offer. It's the things that you say that matter most. Now, some people will say the medium is the message, and that's why people still spend millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you're not spending millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads, and you're looking for ways to take the dollars that you do have that feel as much to you or as important as a Super Bowl ad to mean something in your business. And so I'm here cheering you on, saying, hey, listen, it doesn't have to be about a lot of money, but if you know what you want to say, then you find the medium where you're going to say it. If you have a big message, it's probably hard to share in a really short social media ad, but you might share teeny pieces in a social media ad and a longer information in a magazine or in a blog post or in an email drip campaign that you put together. So if you think about your messages that need to be shared and then decide where you can share them, that will help you make better decisions. It's not about saying, oh, well, everyone's on Facebook, I want to be on Facebook, or everyone's on Instagram, I want to be on Instagram, or I heard my friend is doing really well on TikTok, I'm just going to go do really well on TikTok. And while I wish you the best in figuring some of those pieces out, I need you to ask yourself, what would I say on TikTok that would match that audience? And is your audience even there? TikTok is skewing pretty young. And while those numbers are getting older and older each month, it can be tricky for brands that have target markets with the age over 45 for people to make a big splash on TikTok. Also, remembering that TikTok is an entertainment platform, so it makes it tricky for you to share your message that way. Now, there are some businesses and some brands that can kill it there because they're clear about it, but they're not making the decision to be on TikTok for TikTok's sake. They're making the decision because the messages match their target market and they can reach them through that medium. So don't fall into the trap of reverse marketing. Be strategic. Sit down and figure out your target market, decide the messages that you're going to say, and then choose the mediums that support you in sharing that message. And it's going to be different for every business. And this is one of the things that I love about working with clients is helping them think about their marketing in a different way so that they're really being a lot more strategic about the decisions that they make about where they place money in the mediums that could mean the most. And this is the place where you can probably take some new risks. This is a place where you can probably try new things. If you're continuing to do the same things over and over again and expecting different results, then just like that's the recipe for insanity, that's also the recipe for not increasing your sales. And so you might need to change up your mediums, but before you do, start with your messages and make sure your objectives are clear before you just dive into some other medium that you don't know will work for you or won't reach your market. Okay. So As we transition into number 5, which I'm sure will not surprise you if you've heard anything about me over the years, if you've ever watched a single episode or a single show, but the biggest marketing mistake that I see, and I say at the end, is the failure to plan. I'm a huge fan of planning. In fact, last episode, we talked about planning in an entirely different way. We talked about time management. And so I have a lot of people who will say to me, Michelle, I just can't do marketing. It's just not my skill set. That's just not what I can do. But the reality is that marketing is a mindset. Anyone can learn things. You can access marketing information now more than ever before. If you want to learn how to be a rock star in a specific medium, go watch a YouTube video. If you want to learn how to plan better, you can come to Marketing Blueprint or read a book that's $19.95 on Amazon. Better yet, check it out for free at the library. So it's not for a lack of information. It's a lack of the way that you approach the subject and the way that you give it time to succeed. So if you're sitting there thinking and you're looking at all of your past mistakes and you feel like they're very public and you're concerned about the way that your business has or has not grown over the last 3 years, 5 years, or even decade or longer, it's not really about that as much as it is about you figuring out and making time and space for marketing in your calendar. What does that look like? Are you creating daily, weekly, monthly tasks in your marketing so that you're getting regular results? Are you working with your team to regularly create activities, or are you being so reactive in your marketing that you have something that works and you don't do marketing for a while and then your sales get slow and you're like, oh, we better market again. And then you stop marketing because your sales are coming again. And then you do the same vicious cycle. Planning for success in a 12-month window will change the game for your marketing. Now, again, I acknowledge that if you're in a reactive marketing place, it's probably because you have had some mishaps or mistakes that made it tricky for you to feel like you could continue on the way that you once did. But any time is a great time to create a new plan. Don't wait until January. Right now, just sit down and think through the next 12 months. What do the next 12 months look like for you? What could you do in the next 3 months that would move the needle? How can you take all of the other mistakes that we talked about in this episode and reposition them into practices that will change the way that you approach your marketing? What would that look like with your budget? What would that look like with your target market? What would that look like with the way that you weave in and try new things over the next 12 months? If you can figure out how to plan for success, you will feel more mentally prepared to tackle marketing on a regular basis because it will feel more on purpose. When it's reactive, it almost feels like you're getting punched over and over and over again. But if it's on purpose, then you know that you're going through the motions to get you the things that you need to move forward, to sell more products, sell more services, and get the income that you want in your business. So if you're at a place right now where you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants and you're spending money here or investing time there, sit down and create a plan. Now, I'm not saying it has to be a 12-page, double-spaced, 12-point font plan. It could be a simple, even sticky note plan where you jot down the ideas, you talk about the different mediums, and you get out a calendar and you put them all on a calendar. It can be simple. In fact, I tell all of my clients if they haven't done a plan for the year to take 2 hours and plan, and that's it. And if you need to take 30 minutes over the next 4 weeks or 1 hour this week and 1 hour next week because you don't have time for a 2-hour block, you'd be surprised how much you can plan for the next 12 months in 2 hours using the experience that you have. Now, if you're a startup just getting started, it's almost even easier because you don't have the history of what you've once done holding you back. You can just choose to do what you want now moving forward. So I really want you to be strategic and think about what you want to have happen over the next 12 months, and it's worth it. It's worth investing that 2 hours to create a plan that will help you thrive and succeed in the new year to come. Now, we've talked about 5 mistakes today. 5 mistakes that I see regularly. Some businesses are just doing 1 or 2, and some businesses from time to time are doing all 5. And guess what? It's okay. Businesses tend to be incredibly resilient. And they are, if you're able to see and look at some of the places in your marketing where you could make some changes, you can bounce back a lot quicker than you thought. So I'm here encouraging you, cheering you on, wishing you the best as you look at your marketing in a new, bold, and maybe even strategic way that will change the game for you and will help you get past any past marketing mistakes and that you're starting to collect marketing successes. I wish you all the best in your business and in your marketing. Make it happen. today's favorite things because last week's favorite things was all about healthy things and that went over so well. I am keeping that tradition going. Today I'm sharing with you my 3 favorite salads, okay? Number 1, and I don't love it because I have to make it myself, is the pistachio, kale, and farro salad. Now, some of you are like, that sounds like the worst salad ever, but it has the most delicious dressing that I can make on my own, and I find myself actually craving this salad from time to time. So what I'll do is I'll double or triple up on the dressing. I'll make sure I have all the ingredients, and then I'll kind of eat it for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna share the recipe for you in the show notes so that you can have it if you decide you want to make a healthy and delicious salad. Now, if you're feeling a little bit lazier, which I usually am, my salad number 2 is the lemon and arugula salad available at Trader Joe's. It comes in a package. It's like $3. It's got all the ingredients. It's got arugula and all kinds of other vegetables. And then it has the most delicious lemony dressing. And then it also has some nuts and Parmesan, and it's wonderful. And so I'll usually eat that, add that with a little bit of chicken, and I've made myself a healthy lunch with the help of Trader Joe's. Now, when I need to do zero work and I just need a salad, my go-to is Cubby's. Now, I'm sorry for all of you friends who are not in Utah and you can't get this as easily as I can, but I bet you can find one that's similar. The wild rice and kale salad is my very favorite salad to get on the go. And I usually buy the big one and I will last me for 2 meals. I love it. I love all the flavors that are happening in it. I love that there's chicken. I love that there's cheese. I love that there's some sweet things in it with some little apple pieces. It's so great. I'm going to encourage you to find a wild rice and kale salad. Now, one of the things I love about the wild rice and kale salad is that it's a lot of stuff. It's not just lettuce. And so I feel like I'm getting some heartiness in with my Cubby salad. Now, some people don't like that kind of thing. And so I recommend the tri-tip salad if you're not willing to try something just like that. But there you go. I've done 2, count them, 2 favorite things without a chocolate or a treat. I guess I mentioned it, so I mentioned it. But without one of those, so you're welcome. Michelle McCullough does healthy things too. What are you ready to do differently in your business and your marketing as a result of today's episode? Now listen, please do not leave with any judgment. If you're making all 5 or even just 2 of these marketing mistakes, it's just information that will help you get on the path so that you can create the marketing practices that will get you the success that you want in your business. And now that you know, you can take the steps to be more strategic and more intentional about what you do and say in your marketing. Thank you for being part of today's episode. I hope that you will like, comment, and share so that other people can find it. I read every review and I'm so thrilled when you share it with others so that they can find it as well. If you have any questions or if you'd like to recommend things on future episodes of the show, you can find me at michelle@speakmichelle.com or follow me on your favorite social media channels. Thank you for being part of Make It Happen, and I wish you the best week until we see you again.